and let's move to not a very good thing for students. They don't like it at all, but we want them to do it, and that's the issue about homework. Most of the teachers complain that students just don't turn in homework. So we thought that let's talk about homework. And actually, homework is school's work that's to be done at home because we don't have enough time in the school to get everything done. So what's the problem and why doesn't it happen? Have you ever thought about what is the purpose of giving homework? Whenever I have asked teachers, I've got these typical answers of, oh, practice, they need to have the drill, they need to revise, they need to just go over it once again, they need to come back and tell us if there's something that they haven't understood, and so on and so forth. But there are three clear purposes for giving homework. One is something which is very commonly known and we've done it all the time. It is for drill and practice. So if I were to continue with my unit of the water cycle that I picked up from first episode of lesson planning, I might simply say, draw the various stages of the water cycle and label it. It's a revision, it's a drill, it's a practice. We do this kind of thing all the time. But then we seem to be stopping there. And there are a couple of other good ideas. Sometimes you can give homework for elaboration. That means that I've taught you this, but I didn't have time to do much more than what I think I should have done. So why don't you go home and explore further? For example, a simple thing like examine the various stages of the water cycle as you see them at home and give me examples when you come back. Water cycle is an abstract idea, you can't see it. Students feel only water evaporates, only when there is sunlight and only from the ocean, because that's the textbook problem. The textbooks introduce the water cycle idea in this way, water from the ocean. Whereas we know water is evaporating all the time. Even the glass that I have at home, the water is evaporating if I just leave it on my table. So that's what we need to be connecting the real life to, and they're going beyond what they have learned. But here is a beautiful thought. The third purpose of homework, which research is calling out, is whenever the teachers give them something to do for preparation. Preparation for what she's about to teach on the next day, probably. So I might say to them, where else can you see evaporation? Where does water go when the clothes are drying? Because students think drying is something different and evaporation is something different. When the water spills on the ground and when it dries up, they don't think it's just evaporated because there is no sun inside the room. So that's the kind of preparation that they could do, and you come and they come back to the class and you discuss. So when you vary your homework, it becomes interesting. And you will find that most children might want to do this variety of kind of homework that you present. Here is a radical thought. Okay. I was thinking that we all continue to say that you have to give HOTS. HOTS has also become a kind of a takiya kalam. And when you ask teachers what is HOTS, they'll say higher order thinking skills. Okay, what are higher order thinking skills? Sometimes there is a blank. So I picked only two, and continuing with the water cycle example, I was thinking, how about analyzing and evaluating these two ideas? So for analyzing, I thought let's pick up farmer suicides. So everything doesn't have to be from the textbook. You have to go beyond that to educate. So if it is farmer suicides, something for analyzing could be case studies for farmers who have abundant water versus those who have scarcity of water. Because it's related to the water cycle again. Plus, you are taking them higher and they are analyzing. Here's another one for evaluating. So we have so many river rituals in our country, right from birth to death. The river is very important for us. So we have a lot of river-related rituals which are also polluting the river. So something like, do you think these deep cultural practices need to be abandoned or at least curbed? A discussion is important, no? Discussion in the classroom to raise the bar of thinking is important. They're evaluating. Give reasons why. They're evaluating. So some bit of homework should also be for higher order thinking. But mind you, whatever you're giving for homework or for assessment must first appear in the learning outcomes or learning objectives. Only when it appears there in your CSFV2, in the skills this should appear, higher order thinking skills, only then could you give homework based on that. The last slide for homework, and hopefully you will like it. All of us have given so many exams in our lives, and every time you get a paper, there is do any 5, do any 4, and we feel very thrilled and we tick away that which we know and feel comfortable about it. But we do not give a choice in homework. Why not? So what teachers are reporting and what research says, whatever my reading is, that whenever students are given a choice in homework, here are 10 sums and fractions, do any 5. You will find that they do 5 plus more because choice is extremely powerful. Autonomy is very powerful for human beings. Try giving them a choice. Here are 5 composition topics, do any 1. So every time that you give them choice in homework, you will find a better submission rate of homework. I want to leave you with this thought, and I hope you can try this in your next assignment. Meanwhile, this is our YouTube channel of Shikshangan Education Initiatives. If you like what we're presenting, do subscribe and do like. Till the next time.